It's your show. Dr. LaWana Richmond, what is Afrofuturism and why do you have a passion for promoting it? How come you don't ask permission
So let me start by just going on the record as saying my least favorite phrase is unapologetically black, because it implies that blackness is something to apologize for in the first place. So I want to start there. Afrofuturism for me, it's something that I've lived and breathed and done before I knew what the word was. And it's really about having a vision for the future. There's a book called Radical Dharma, and when the opening chapter, it says that any social justice movement is an act of speculative fiction. Because in order to move towards something that's not there, you have to imagine it first. So for me, Afrofuturism is a way for people to take the history that we lament and the present circumstances that we are uncomfortable with and figure out what we can do today. Well, to visualize what better looks like and then take action today in order to get to that better. I get really frustrated when people complain about what happened and what's happening and they don't follow up with solutions. I'm a process engineer and a project manager, and so I don't think like that. And so I saw Afrofuturism, and I actually changed the Afrofuturism Lounge to Afrocon because it was easier for people to conceive. But for me, it's about entertaining people, raising their awareness, and also helping them understand that they have agency. Every single person here has the ability to imagine and co-create the future. And my goal is for people to imagine and co-create a better future.
Now, when it comes to political, community, equity, inclusion, or other forms of activism, especially in today's environment, how does one get off the sidelines? How did you get off the sidelines to become more active?
I can't recall being on the sidelines, so that's hard. I've got 30 years of this under my belt, but in terms of getting off the sidelines, if you're somebody who's not doing anything, just do something small. I mean, the reality is, if we look at things as a process of continuous improvement, every small action, if it's intentional, leads towards better results. My day job, I'm an organizational development manager, and it's all about creating and fostering an environment where people understand that they can make things better, no matter what level they're in. Making things better might be as simple as walking past some litter and understanding that you have the power to pick it up instead of complaining about it being there.
Nice.
I said power. I'm not trying to take away nobody's choice.
On this panel, we had examples of successful black businesses that represent key steps in the black-owned black-owned comic books, from initial conception to printing to publishing to distribution to selling to the end user at physical storefronts, and of course, fostering community that allows for such businesses to flourish. With your wealth of experience and education, you're well suited to navigate systemic change, and that involves building a culture that continually improves and empowers equity and financial stability. What's your analysis of where we are today, and what else you think we need to improve upon?
So let me start with a little bit about chaos theory. When you want change, the best time for things to change is when people are uncomfortable. I would say that most people on this planet are uncomfortable for one reason or another today. So really, this is the best time for someone like me who is a proponent of change. So we're in a place where we are sitting at the cusp of possibility, and I'm looking at the manifestation of that possibility in communities everywhere. The big challenge is for us to understand, how they say that it's always darkest before the dawn? The reality is we've got to talk to each other, and we've got to talk action. When people are around me and they want to complain about what's wrong, and they aren't doing anything to make it better, like nothing, I don't have a lot of time for those conversations anymore. We are at a space where little children are starting businesses and being social activists and talking about sustainability and urban planning and environmental racism and feminism and all of these different things. So everything is possible right now. And we have everything we need in order to make all those things happen. But as long as we're looking around for somebody else to do it, looking around for somebody to blame, looking around for why we can't, we won't.
Mm-hmm. Now, looking, I'd like to sort of ask the rest of the panel the same question. In terms of, where we are today, based on we've already discussed on this panel, is there anything else that we can do to improve upon?
I think the biggest thing we can do to